Hotkey's fixed.
Yep.
Hotkey.
Yep. Kicking off this series down here in the bottom left, you do have the man who has fixed all of his hotkeys. It is the blue Protoss, ButAlways.
And in the top right here in the red, playing the Zerg pieces, representing Hong Kong and representing the Juggernauts, this is GogojOey. Already starting off a little different here, going straight for the pull first.
Get a couple of lings out, get a little bit active, maybe try and put some pressure on a Nexus, something like that.
Certainly.
I think with a name like that, he should be probably representing Oath, but what do I know?
GogojOey.
Yeah.
This is a bit of an oceanic name, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. There you go. Out comes the hatch. So just reordering things a little bit more. Like I said, just get a couple of lings out. Usually shouldn't trouble the Protoss player too much. As long as you control yourself well and make sure you're staying on top of everything. But, you know, if you do kind of misplay a little bit, those couple of lings could definitely cause you some problems.
Yeah, just gate and expand here for ButAlways, who is... you know, not doing anything untoward here at the start of the game. ButAlways is the kind of guy that if anyone in this tournament was going to drop four gateways across the other side of the map with a single pylon and just rally zealots into your face in a PvZ, he would be the guy. He's usually been very underhanded, very cheesy, very aggressive. But you know, as evidenced by that really long game that I referenced earlier, the 90-minute PvZ split map, that he can slow things way down and just go full Stargate mode as well. In fact, speaking of Stargates, he was the first player I ever saw when the Void Ray kicked in, the Void Ray patch kicked in, that did the 3 Void Ray triple Stargate meta that was plaguing this matchup for so long.
Chrono on the Adept.
Early pull.
Not quite there in time. I think he's going to lose that pylon, Maynard.
Yeah, that means he's not going to have an Adept, unfortunately, for ButAlways. He's got a wall in these lings, but it's a Rorschach situation. They're not stuck in here with him. He's stuck in here with them.
This is not good. This is exactly how you don't want to start a series as the Protoss player. He's not pulling any probes either. Like, he's really just trying to force that pylon up.
You don't expect this pull first to be this effective?
Yeah, but like it's exactly this kind of situation where you don't respect it enough that it works.
I mean, he's killed a few pylons. To be fair, he hasn't killed like many probes and hasn't won the game just yet. But, you know, certainly very annoying and certainly messing with ButAlways' tempo at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Definitely making the Protoss player uncomfortable. You know, you want to get yourself into a rhythm where you're hitting the right timings, and this just kind of offsets everything for, you know, a good 30, 40 seconds before you get yourself rolling again.
Yeah, so you see the trades not great there for ButAlways, but not game-winning. Just a very annoying start for the Protoss. It can get inside your head a little bit and just tilt you.
It's definitely a mental thing, right? Well, yeah, he's going to drop himself down that Stargate. And the wall's really janky here. Like,
yeah, it's not super. Yeah,
he's probably, I don't know, maybe drop another gate and try to have like that one you know, unit gap or whatever next to the pylon. But
yeah. I've always been so bad with this because I've never really put a lot of time into Protoss. But I sometimes see Protoss walls and I'm like, there's a gap there, right? And then a Protoss guy will be like, no, idiot, it's a wall.
You were talking about like Seether going and looking into some of the maps, but I remember Seether being like a player back in Champs where his wall just wasn't a wall on a map that he hadn't played enough or something, and then like a bunch of links just streamed into his base, and he was like,
definitely happens. It definitely happens. The Overlord of GogojOey getting to the main base here and confirming the Stargate follow-up with the lings getting killed before even, you know, Warp Gate was anywhere near started. He was... not too sure what the follow-up here for ButAlways was, and now he's confirmed it is an Oracle. You get to see the unit being morphed inside of the Stargate there.
Yeah, I think as far as the mental goes, I mean, I think Joey's probably feeling pretty good about how this game is going. He's got a great read. He's kind of disrupted his opponent and gotten his head nice and early on here. He's cruising along with those 3 hatches and pumping nothing but drones. He's living the dream right now.
Certainly is. And while the Overlord's life may be forfeit, it also might just escape here.
Yep.
Enough space on the map to nestle itself until a flying unit comes out that can shoot up. Link's coming in for a poke at the 3rd Nexus. And what is Joey's plan? Drop in the Banelings, going for the +1 melee attack, so a pretty normal ZVP startup here. Do you see it most days? Oh, that's a dead Adept right there.
Yeah. Hasn't been able to wedge
Oh,
itself
she hasn't
in.
got nestled in.
Wow.
She's surrounded. That's another dead adept.
And it's chipped over a bunch of energy from the Oracle, so less stasis traps, less ability to try and do some economic damage on the other side of the map. I feel like everything's been going
Wow.
Joey's
Oh
way,
my
but
God.
exactly like you said, nothing that would kind of indicate like he's just going to go ahead and win the game. But
Dude, GogojOey just made a lot of lings, man.
yeah, he's out for blood. I mean, he's ahead. He wants to keep getting more ahead, and at least every time he's tested the defense, it's been left wanting.
Yeah, he's found damage every time, and that can really snowball, especially in the early game. 1 or 2 units can make a huge difference. Shield battery is done, which is going to complicate things. He's going to try and target fire it here with the lings. If he can get rid of the shield battery, this ling flood absolutely can win.
Oh.
He gets the shield battery. And the Oracle, she's got some energy. She's going to be helping out a lot, but this means this energy the Oracle is not spending on the other side of the map against the Zerg's drones. I mean, that's a lot of links for GogojOey, but he's still got more where that came from. He's making more back at home. Obviously, this is affecting his drone count. He's only got 59 right now. Not a huge economic lead, but 4th hatchery on the way. Certainly keeping the Protoss pin back, keeping the Oracles away from his mineral lines. All good stuff for the Zerg.
Yep. Starting to see it chip away at this natural, but still not a complete wall there for ButAlways. He's really not spending his money in the way that he wants to at the moment, really trying to invest extra in buildings, only now working on the splash damage. Joey doesn't go for the throat, though. You saw him droning up a little bit there. Hasn't quite gone up to like a full 80 or anything like that. Now he's going for Hydras. So might try to mix in, these Hydras and go for a bit of a mid-game push and really try to keep that pressure on and just go for like this very, very aggressive style. Almost kind of reminds me of like Mio Micah or something where he just wants to get in there in the mid-game.
Well, he's making Banelings, so it's definitely not Mio Micah. Yeah. Oh, but I do kind of feel you on that one. Like, just have a lot of those light units, a big presence on the map, a very fast in-your-face army, and the Hydras are super high DPS, like a bit of a glass cannon unit.
Yeah.
Very, very high DPS. Really good against gateway units as well as Stargate units, but I'm a little bit worried if there is a big engagement win potentially for ButAlways if he can land beautiful storms. Like the army of GogojOey is super storm vulnerable.
I mean, Joey, he didn't go for a big wave of Hydras though. He's gone up to 80 drones. He's adding more and more hatches. So it's kind of felt like, although he has been really trying to fight a lot, he is still kind of keeping himself pinned back a little bit.
Yeah, the revelation on the Banelings as well kind of cut Joey's lunch a little bit. He has to respect these Archons. Considering how many lings he really has to respect these Archons. And yeah, it's time to hold the H button. Get those Hydras out for GogojOey. We're still just chilling on Lair Tech, not staring down the barrel of Hive Tech just yet. And the Protoss is getting towards Charge, getting towards Storm, getting towards a 4th Nexus. All comfortable spots where the Protoss can really stabilize, find footing, and get powerful again. It does still feel like GogojOey is holding the reins in this game so far.
Yeah.
But a bad fight could really switch things very fast in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, Storm finishes up. I still feel like, with how slow ButAlways has been to build up, there's definitely got to be a window here. I'm waiting for like when Joey's going to pull the trigger, and he always just seems to just, sprinkle in a couple more drones. I'm kind of waiting for him to just say, all right, that's finally enough damage to where I feel like I can just send it, you know?
Oh, some unfortunate flying there for those 2 Oracles. They go down without too much other than a couple of revelations. Oracles are still very useful here, so losing them is a big deal. Like, you don't get to tag armies like this. You don't get to, keep the Zerg guessing and basically keep spotting units and also detect and that sort of thing and drop stasis wards. All very good defensive countermeasures with the Oracle. Storm going there on the Hydras. They just have to deal with a little bit of bad weather there. Or Archons coming in from the back line. Just the 3 Archons? Or there might be a little bit more behind the webcam.
You get this run by on south side though. A couple of storms on in there. He's getting on top of the High Templars. That's not what you wanted to be storming. You wanted to be storming the Hydras. In-roll the Banelings as well.
Oh, he's going to get it.
Wow.
Oh my god, I think there were only 4 lings left. The Baneling splash damage might have helped out a little bit there, and also all the High Templar there died. One of them, or 2 of them became an Archon, but a lot of the High Templars died. The Nexus did die. Yes, it cost GogojOey a fair few resources, but he can afford it. He's he's got the map. He's got his side. He's got his whole corner of the map, and the creep is starting to spread a little bit as well. Creep spread could be a little bit better here for GogojOey, but still managing to keep a big supply lead on the Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, you got 86 workers here as ButAlways, but you got no 4th base. Like, you just can't make use of them.
Yeah, he's oversaturated.
He's starting to make his way in towards some, some Sky Toss, but I think he needs to be making units here. Like, I'm getting very concerned that he's just going to die.
Ling's actually punching through that Zealot that ButAlways did not want them to escape. He wanted them all to die to his Archons, but GogojOey rescuing those Lings, bringing them back to the family. And it is all about family.
Yeah. Family-friendly broadcast, Maynard.
That's right. No swears.
No,
Everyone keeps their clothes on.
for the most
12
part.
o'clock is getting secure for the most part. Yeah, no one can see us from the waist down, which is by design.
No one sees what
Hyper's
happens
gonna
when the
finish
camera
up.
goes off and we load up the game.
That's right.
Going into some lurkers now. So
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic here. Until there's a lot more Stargate units, that means that GogojOey has the more powerful ground army as soon as that's done with the hive upgrades on the lurkers.
but when is he going to kill him, Maynard? Like, I'm waiting for him to kill him.
Yeah, I thought his name was GogojOey, not I don't know, Joey. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
I know. I don't get paid very well. So.
Yeah. Maybe prep a few more jokes for the broadcast if you did. A
Good catch
lot
on
of
these
Bailey's
banelings.
getting cancelled there. That's pretty nice. Going to keep the Zealots nice and healthy, but always just trying to distract the Zerg, trying to keep him back for the time being. Finally gets that fourth Nexus up again and is starting to benefit from that fourth base of income. And I'm surprised he's gotten away with this tech shift with how flimsy his army was looking like. He is really starting to pump those carriers.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it a little bit before, but like when Protoss gets to 4 Nexus and they can kind of just sit there for a bit, it's like enough to do whatever they want for a little while until they start to get mined out of their natural and the third starts to get a little dry. But they can certainly sit back and slow the game down and get to carriers. And GogojOey does not want that to happen. He wants to force a bad trade from the Protoss. He does not want a giant ball sky toss. In comes the Protoss from the north side. There is a lot of lurkers at the back line. Ling's coming in with some Hydras on the north, but that's a bit of a light flank, literally and figuratively. The Hydras die pretty quickly there to the Archons and the Storms.
Yeah, really
and
good
GogojOey
defense.
disengages.
The carriers in particular to start to pick off some of those lurkers in the siege position. That was really, really well defended.
GogojOey has forced his hand. He has to drop the Spire. He needs to start getting Corruptors. With carriers getting up this number, like 3 carries at a time, this could potentially, and I hope not, but it could potentially go into a very long PvZ here. It's the kind of unit comp that certainly lends itself to the longer game if both players can't find critical damage on each other.
I mean, I felt like Joey was in the position. Like, I obviously don't watch enough StarCraft to like know, yeah, this guy can just go and kill him. And obviously, you know, Fog of War and the information game, it's easy from like that armchair analyst position. But it felt like everything was going so well for Joey Maynard, and then he's let it now kind of get into a position where ButAlways can kind of start doing Protoss things.
Yeah, well, a lot of what Joey was doing was on a similar work account with, and none of it was free. So that's kind of how ButAlways has gotten to this point, is just by the simple fact of not dying, and the fact that the Zerg spends money on units every time they do an attack like that, with all the big Ling Bane attacks or the Hydra pokes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anytime that happens, it means that the Protoss can still come back into it as long as they don't lose probes. And yeah, he was long distance mining with a lot of those probes, but as soon as that fourth Nexus was redone, it was instantly saturated. So yeah, ButAlways not as hurt, and GogojOey still trying to get something done with his ground forces. He's going to be transitioning to a big sky army, but I do like just poking and being active with what you have. You don't want your army just sitting there. You want to be as active as possible.
I mean, he gets a gate and he forces a recall on the carriers, but outside of that, not very cost-efficient trade. Kind of just throwing away the ground army to make room for higher tech units and put himself in a better position later on. I mean, you know, we talk about the fact that there wasn't really significant damage done to the worker account for ButAlways, but Joey's been able to spread himself out pretty well on his side of the map as well. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to start to slow things down a little bit.
He has to if he wants to have a chance to win this game, because the Protoss gets to this point, and if he's being patient and if he's being meticulous with his defense, which ButAlways has been, it's either leave and try again in the third game, or in the second game rather, or just try and meet him at the games, go to the skies, drop those extra spires, get those big corruptor ball out, start getting some vipers out, start building the static defense, start getting the spore crawler forest out.
This is the carrier march. You're going to start to see him try to control the map, try to push these creep tumors back and limit GogojOey's information and sphere of influence on the map. He's really getting up close. He's kind of going up the guts here. Nowhere near a hatchery yet, but definitely staying active for the time being.
Oh, man. ButAlways' army looks really good right now. It's super, super powerful. He's got the upgrades on the attack there for the carriers, as well as the shields upgrades. So the Archons have also got a ton of hit points. Yoinks on the carrier does get 1, maybe 2. Oh, the other one actually escaped. Felt like a little bit of a mismicro there from GogojOey.
Yeah.
I think could have killed the second one there.
Yep, just not really focusing on anything but the interceptors. Does get it. So you are seeing the Protoss army trying to snipe itself a hatchery or just pick off these lurkers if it can. And he is still kind of staying active. Some probes die on the south side there. You get a counterattack in from GogojOey. He's still staying active while defending this hatchery up towards the north side. Good Ling run by there. 20 probes.
Yeah, that's actually a huge run by. 6 o'clock got completely annihilated by these Lings, which do have +3 attack and adrenals, so they are as good as Lings get.
Yeah. Just melting stuff. He's even going to get the Nexus as well.
He's going to recall it? I mean, this recall is not happening.
No.
Yeah. Oh, there's a High Templar. Oh, no, ButAlways.
Yeah, that's a lot of gas just going by the wayside there.
Yeah. I think they got cancelled. He killed the pylon before killing the High Templar, so technically I think it got it refunded. Yeah. I think.
He's switching into Void Rays now, so he wants to start melting some of those Corruptors.
Big bank advantage for the Zerg as well, has to be mentioned. Protoss doesn't have a He's
going to get this north side bank Nexus as well.
Oh yeah, this is big.
He has no 5th base here, ButAlways.
And this is very, very big. ButAlways is actually starting to look all in here. Like this army, if he takes a big loss in this army,
yeah.
Like this looks very old. Like he's trickling in forces. A very, very desperate looking counterattack here from ButAlways. But again, his army is super powerful. He's got a lot of Archons, which are hitting pretty hard with +2 attack, +2 shields on those Archons, and a lot of carriers in the sky with +2 attack as well. Can GogojOey hold on?
Yeah, it's a big feedbacks on all of those Vipers, so that's not going to be a factor anymore. So many Archons just zoning this ball of Corruptors back, and the Interceptors are just getting to work here, Maynard. Great Storm on top of them. Oh, those Corruptors numbers are really thinning.
Yeah, this isn't looking great for GogojOey at all. He's got a lot of units in production, but they're not here right now. He's making 32 Hydralisks. And I don't know if 32 Hydralisk wins the fight if they're all together. But as they're spawning from multiple hatcheries, which means that they are not going to be in a ball, which is when they're most effective. And ButAlways is going to sneak away with a win there. Took big damage on his side of the map, but his army was already super powerful, and he was not losing units. Yeah. So, yeah, ButAlways manages to sneak away with map 1 there against GogojOey.
Yeah, it feels so rough, because it felt like Joey did so many great things that game. Like, the build order definitely caught ButAlways off, and kind of, put him behind the 8 ball and got, GogojOey, a little bit of that mental edge. And it felt like he was doing a lot of the right things, like he's picking off units and able to get rid of those oracles earlier on in the game and put himself like up towards those 80 drones pretty early on and keep the pressure on with the ground army. But end of the day, like ButAlways just, he keeps himself alive long enough to get that big ball of Protoss that you were talking about and just wins the game with it.
Yeah, and I loved where GogojOey's head was at, but unfortunately needed to hold that all in to actually culminate in victory there. But hey, that's game 1, and he's still got another life in the back pocket. So we're going to take a short break. When we return, GogojOey versus ButAlways game 2. Don't go away. We'll see you then. StarCraft fans, and welcome back to the DreamHack Masters main event here for the Atlanta season for the Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, Macau region. Wow, I'm going to get those countries in a different order every single time I introduce this podcast. But I'm Maynard, with me is Pilsky, and we are in the midst of our best of three here between ButAlways and GogojOey to begin proceedings here for this first group for this first match. ButAlways currently the 1-0 advantage against GogojOey.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, you know, job as a host half the time is just saying place names and country names in the right order. And, you do a fairly solid job of that. So, I'll give you the thumbs up there. Man, Atlanta is it's an interesting place to hold yourself a StarCraft tournament. I went there for the grand total of one day and got myself some excellent food and then moved on. So, yeah,
beautiful. I hear it's a good place to get, like, brisket and like that southern barbecue kind of style, It's where the Coke factory is as well, if you like Coca-Cola, apparently. I think.
There you go. The Coke factory. Just the one.
Yeah. Apparently it's got a pretty nice airport. I don't know. This is just things that I know about Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember some of the airports in the US were insane. Like you would just you go along those little like walkways and it tells you that like keep walking and stop walking in 5 seconds, and then you go in the bathroom and it tells you in what order to wash and dry and soap your hands. Like a robot's just talking to you the whole time.
That's amazing. I didn't see those airports. What I saw were airports that were staffed by people that I think failed their psych evaluation and couldn't become cops.
That was LAX
that's
for
LAX.
me at least.
How did you know I was talking about LAX? How did you know that?
Yeah, 100%.
They're like, give me the bag, sir. I'm like, you could be nicer about this.
Someone walked up to me in plain clothes and said, give me your bag. And I was like, is this guy trying to rob me? I don't even know if you work here.
Anyway, let's get into StarCraft quickly here in the bottom right. From Juggernauts, from Hong Kong in the Zerg pieces, this is GogojOey. All first again.
And up here in the top left-hand side, really kind of singing my mantra in that last game, which is just, if you stay alive, you're probably doing good enough. It is the blue Protoss, ButAlways.
If you stay alive long enough to make carriers 3 at a time, you're doing good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to apply that metaphor to my own life.
To life, yeah.
Yeah.
I get, like, it's a bit thin, but maybe to, like, if you're into investing,
oh yeah,
the right stocks kind of thing, just
it's like all those people on Reddit who tell you
to see it pay off.
Yeah, it's like all those people on Reddit who tell you, just invest your first, $10,000, and by the time
you're sure.
By the time you're 60, you can enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's a bit of a weird world. I've dipped my toe into it here and there, but I'm one of those people that like doesn't want to do. I don't want to buy things if I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, buy this stock. I'm like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy it then. So pull first, and the probe sees it as well.
Yeah.
But always knows that there's early lings on the field. So hopefully this time, yeah, he's got the zealot coming out as well. So should be better prepared and won't have as awkward as a start as he did on map 1. And this is also a much easier wall in for Protoss. Look at that,
100%.
2 structures and 1 unit.
Yeah, I'm used to those wider walls, right? On a lot of the maps that I've been seeing for the last little bit, but this is a bit more of a throwback to where it's like just a 2-building wall. Like you're feeling a bit safer. I'm always surprised to see that pull first again, but I think Joey, maybe it's just his style that he likes to just be active out on the map and have the Zerglings kind of zoom in around there, give him that feel of safety, maybe even try to get himself some additional info or something like that. And of course, you're forcing at least some reaction out of the Protoss in the early game. They don't get to just go straight into whatever they want. They have to build those extra couple of units.
Overlord streaming across the map here for the Zerg. I think he's just got the 1 Overlord going across the map. Not one of those 2 Overlords scouting Zergs. And
this map is pretty. I'm digging these vibes. I want to paint
Sapphire,
my bedroom this color.
It feels like it should be blue. I think Sapphires are blue, if I'm not mistaken. But my wife works for a jeweler. I should be better with this.
You must be blinged up then.
Sapphire is blue. I just googled it.
When are we going to start to see like the rings in your dreads or something like that?
I like you were talking about when you get your first 10,000, you should invest it. I'm like, when I get there, I'll let you know. So that's why I don't have rings and jewelry in my hair, mate.
Not in esports, that's for sure.
Not in esports, that's right. Not in stream, not in the stream game.
What did you say? You're just in this for the cola and the Domino's vouchers?
Yeah, that's it. The Jolt Cola vouchers, the Domino's vouchers, the occasional graphics card that you get from late 90s lands.
Yeah.
Oh. Oracle #1 for ButAlways coming across the map to see what's happening in Zergville. He's still not really, apart from the full burst, hasn't got a good follow-up check on what's happening. Oh, gonna get some drones. Lovely. Might even get the spore.
Yeah. It's going well for him. I mean, a bit of a different start to this game. Good cancel, though. Keeps that alive. Bit of miss micro on the Oracle. He's lost that.
Yeah, ButAlways is not happy about that. He's kind of face palming a little bit, laughing to himself. But yeah, what else can you do? That's unfortunate for that Oracle, as it's an expensive unit. And just like last game when he lost his double Oracle, you know, a little haphazard. You really don't want to lose that. Now he doesn't have the 2 Oracles to be able to one-shot drones anymore. You know, less revelations, less ability for those spells as well. So it's just very annoying in the early stages of the game to lose that.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how Joey kind of responds after that last game, though, because it felt like,
whoa,
what are we mining there?
Oh, there's the Sapphire. All right.
Oh, but that looks like emeralds. That's green.
Green?
Or is that Sapphire? Okay. I mean, is that a mineral patch? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The map assets. I've not seen that map asset before in other maps, so pretty cool.
No. Alrighty. Well, nice little scout from the Overlord. Not really seeing anything that he's not expecting, though. You know, he's just floating in. He's seeing a Stargate. He's seeing a couple of gateways. Nothing crazy. Starting to move into Blink here. So at least he sees that, you know, Blink and upgrade. It's probably the most standard kind of approach you're going to see from a Protoss ever. Templar Archives getting dropped in the backside, though. And that's not something that Joey will be able to see. Let's get himself a supply block for another couple of seconds. And this time he's taken a bit of a different approach, you know, going into the Roach Warren instead of, you know, straight from Ling Bane into the Hydras and Lurkers and straight up in towards that Hive Tech.
Yeah, the once again, GogojOey is going for the +1 melee here for his Lings and Banelings and whatnot, but he is going into Roaches this time instead of Hydras and Lair getting dropped as well. So he's going to have a bit more of a healthy drone count going into this game. He's not Ling flooding like he did in the last game. So just being a little bit more careful, I would say, is how I would describe GogojOey in this game. Just really doesn't want to throw this series away and let ButAlways run away with it.
Much better start for ButAlways, though, at least in terms of just moving through all of the things that he wants to be doing. Obviously did lose the Oracle, which was kind of the only thing that went super wrong for him. We'll see a couple of Banelings morphing in there, so he's just scouting around, getting some info. He's again just chipping down this drone count. Like by this point, you know what, we're talking like 10, 11 drones that he's been able to pick up over the course of this game without really, you know, investing too much. Not too bad.
Yeah, that is good damage right there. GogojOey needs to plug the holes in his ship back at home so that he can continue.
I mean, he's still hit 80 drones pretty nicely here, so...
Still pretty healthy.
Yeah.
A lot of his supply is in army at the moment, which isn't a super effective army against what the Protoss has right now, but he's going to try and get something done. Stasis Ward catches those Lings up the north side. Roaches coming across the map. Slow Roaches with slow Banes, but... Oh, it's a lot of High Templar. High Templar aren't very good at fighting unless they're Archons.
Yeah, and the batteries aren't finished up. The cannons aren't finished up. So these Roaches are actually going to be able to get in there and get some damage done, start taking out that static defense, and just keep the majority of these gateway units at arm's length. There's not really anything for the Zerg to pick off here. And now you're starting to see these waves of reinforcements from the gateways. The energy is built up enough on the Templar for him to start pushing this back. So looks like ButAlways has got this under control now.
There's a lot more coming in from the Zerg, but it's not here just now. It's in production, and yeah, the Blink Stalker's coming forward. It's unfortunate for ButAlways, you know, the composition of the Protoss maybe wasn't super known to him, but if he knew there was this many Stalkers, Banelings and Roaches just aren't great against Blink Stalkers in general, especially now that ButAlways did not freak out. He didn't pull the trigger on the Archons like I would have. I would just mash the Archon button and going, ah! But he actually just waited. He kept the High Templar alive. Storm finished, and then he really had an easy go of it, getting rid of the Lings, forcing back the Banes.
This is cool. I like this wall on like the south side. I'm enjoying like watching how he's setting up to like defend his different bases on this map. Kind of like a cool little thing. Here's this rock starting to get chipped away at though. On towards the middle side, so a different angle of attack going to be opened up for the Zerg.
Plenty of energy on these High Templar. Looks like a storm each. A couple storms actually on a few of those earlier High Templars. Oracle held together by Sticky Tape and Dreams. Very low hit points.
Do get some faster pains now, but it's looking a little disjointed for GogojOey. It feels like he's more sort of attacking to force a reaction. There's that final little push that finds some success. You're getting the Banes into the mineral line, and he's been able to pick up a whole mineral line's worth. That's a lot of damage to the economy.
Yeah, very, very nice. So the north side for GogojOey, if this goes well at the same time, then the Zerg's looking real good. But at the moment, I'm still like a little bit worried that a counterattack from the Protoss could be pretty deadly, but it's not like the last game where ButAlways was super ahead in army and had this big carrier ball with a whole bunch of Archons underneath it. In this game, his army is not as complex.
Yeah, the creep spread is really good as well from Joey. Like, it's going to be able to defend a lot better, especially with, you know, the fast roaches, the fast links. He can kind of be everywhere. He's starting to tech up a little bit. He's starting to spread out his bases a little bit more now. You know, I didn't realize how committed he was actually being to a lot of these attacks, and it didn't really look like he was being that threatening, and I think it actually caught ButAlways off guard a little bit with just how much he was able to get done.
Oh, Archon pick off there. It's a nice big pick off. Storm coming in, but kind of whiffing. Not getting a good connection there on the army. Another Storm. That one's a lot better there on the Roaches. Looks like another flank on the south side from GogojOey, not super great. Baneling starting to find the Chewy inside here, getting through that crunchy outside of the Protoss army, looking for those High Templar. Not quite getting to the back end where all the Storm energy is, but a lot of probes going down. GogojOey looking quite strong here economically if he can just get another big army up. Looks like he wants to get something done with his Spire. Just trying to, you know, he's sort of understanding that ButAlways is once again, just like game one, trying to just sit there and get the carriers, trying to get an early start on these Corruptors. And was that Nexus full of energy? I guess ButAlways not chrono boosting much.
Yeah, I think, you know, the difference really is just how much economic damage is getting done. Like, it just takes so long for ButAlways to clean up these, you know, Zergling Roach kind of forces. They're so fast, they're nimble, moving around and not really getting hit by the storms too heavily. So he's just able to just go in towards the mineral line and get so much damage done. He's going to dive in again here. Finally, a carrier starts to come out, and you do have plenty of storms in the back line. I was getting worried until I saw those two Templar full of energy.
Yeah, it looks like some Banelings running by that 9 o'clock Nexus trying to get something done, not really getting a whole lot done at all. And I think the problem here for ButAlways is that because he's going for the sit back and make carriers option, he has not touched the Zerg's economy. Like, the Zerg's been chilling 87 drones, fully saturated. He's got the Rich Vespine geyser over at 3 o'clock as well, or at 2 o'clock. It's looking really, really strong for the Zerg, and he's going to start building up that giant gas bank as well.
This is what I wanted to see him do last game. Like, even if it's inefficient, just keep throwing stuff at the Protoss and getting incremental damage done, even if it's, you know, overall in terms of the cost effectiveness, not going to work for you. Like, you're still staying ahead back at home. Here's another Bane run by. No pull from the drones. That's going to get so much damage done. Another 10 going down. And that's, like, ButAlways is just constantly being kept on these 60 probes here.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that. Like, just throw resources at the problem is a super good way to play the thing if you're super far ahead in bank and super far ahead in economy. I feel like GogojOey wasn't that far ahead in the last game economically, but this time he is absolutely. Like, he can keep throwing resources at the Protoss and keep him pinned, and even if he trades inefficiently, he's got enough to bankroll it. Like, he's lighting cigars with $100 bills over here. He's doing fine.
Wiping all those tears away with the bills as well. Starting to move into the Ultra Cavern and, you know, working on that Corrupt account slowly but surely. And just the creep spread is way better than last game as well. Like, he's almost touching the Protoss bases. Yeah,
creep spread's really good. That was a thing with the last game as well. It's not super great creep spread. We do have the Zerg, once again, just trying to encroach on the Protoss' territory here. Would love to see, like, a ball of Corruptors complementing this as well. So I see one Corruptor. Where's your friends?
Again, you're just seeing these little packs of units being sprinkled in, and Joey just, again, going for what's been working for him, shoving up towards the north side, trying to run by in towards the other bases on the west side there.
Right, Zerg coming in from a different angle, but it looks like a wall off on the south side for Protoss, so maybe the run by won't be as powerful. Yeah, good wall off there.
Gonna start working on that though. Like, that demands a response out of ButAlways, but he's being kept busy in the middle right now.
Don't know how I feel about these Ultralisks, but I mean, he did go for the Ultra Cavern. He's starting to make them now. Wall nearly went down to the run by, but ButAlways has had enough. He's close to maxed. He's like, yep, let's go. I've got the bigger army. Let's do it. And once again, ButAlways has done the right thing. He was patient. He sat there. He's meticulous. he took damage, but didn't take enough damage. Like, he wasn't losing his army. He was losing probes, but he wasn't losing army. His army was slowly getting bigger over time. Can he get the job done with this all-in here? ButAlways needs to do well with this attack.
There's no corruptors. It's again just still roaches and banes. Like, there's no meat to this Zerg army, and none of the Protoss units are dying, Maynard.
Yeah, the GogojOey needs to. You know that plan where it's like, step 1 do this, step 2 do that, step 3 question mark, step 4 profit.
Yeah, there was no profit.
I think there is no profit. GogojOey unfortunately doesn't have a